Hit one more time, more damage.
Unity to Space Command. Do you copy?
You know CPT is not a thing anymore, right?
Activating hyperdrive.
Well, you would think after eternal life we would have more time in the day, but I'm here, and shalom.
Shalom, dear brother. Can we get started?
Coming in for landing shortly.
We are going live any second now. Oh, and did you bring the snacks from Earth Sector 12?
Yeah, I got the snacks.
You're eating it, right?
This a little snack for the flight. Got plenty left.
Okay, good. You know I love their food. Welcome to Hebrew Planet.
Oh yeah, hope the brothers and sisters are ready. Unity coming in for a fast landing.
Got a hangover. Yeah, yes, they lied. The truth won't hide. Our people lack knowledge, so they broke inside. Some really, the ops, they the other side. I prick spirit, got you and open up your eyes. We the witnesses, open your book and take a look. Get them curses, was really a sign. Just take a look and listen. How they treat us, throw us in prison. Women, children go missing. Our sons cry for attention. Swift precision in the back of the neck, avoiding the young. Are we really this dumb, or are we really the ones in the book? Let's open it up and give it a look. The Almighty used to say justice to me for sook. We them zombies from the valley of bones. Y'all better lock up your homes, about to destroy all of your thrones. Bet they can't believe it. Yeah, we back. We all over the news. Give them heart attacks. Hit them one more time. They ain't coming back. Somebody go tell them, yeah, the bruises back. Let the thing shake. Titanic. Hit one more time. More damage. Open up the book. Read the canon. Find us right there. Transatlantic. The bruise waking up. They can't stand it. All over the planet. It's Hebrew Planet. Y'all about to shake the whole planet. Yeah. Who are we? Hebrew Planet. Yeah. Who are we? Hebrew Planet.
Shalom, family. Welcome back to Hebrew Planet. I am Deja Yisrael reporting live to you from somewhere in the four corners of the earth. We thank you so much for being back with us. We have an exciting show prepared for you today. You know, in the height of all of the craziness that's going on in the world, a lot of people have taken to this hobby to try and figure out, you know, how they can be more self-sustainable, how they can live a more efficient lifestyle, how they can provide for their families and not rely so much on other entities to provide for their families, if you know what I mean. So today we have an exciting topic. It's all about gardening 101. And statistics even show that average garden yields $600 worth of produce in a year. And if you know anything about these grocery prices, you know, it might be worth it to consider starting to garden for yourself and your family. 35% of U.S. households grow vegetables, fruits, and other food. So today we're going to get a little introduction into how we can get started and what we can do. And we have a special guest, two special guests with us today, the founders of Let's Grow the Garden Life, Brother Shamar and Sister Kenia. They are natural gardeners that started gardening 7 years ago, and they use diverse methods of planting in limited spaces like seed sharing, seed saving, trellis, and planter box building. I even heard that they have planted a garden in the back of their truck. So I'm not going to speak too much about their methods. I'm going to let them do that and introduce them to the show. Thank you so much for being here with us. Welcome to Hebrew Planet. Oh, we got you on mute, family.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right. Shalom, shalom. All praises.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
All
you.
right.
This is exciting. You got the beautiful background in the back. So you already know what we're about to talk about. Gardening. You know, how do you even get started gardening? I'm someone who is intimidated by gardening, and I don't want to be, because we should all be comfortable with harvesting and sowing and reaping, because this is what the Most High gave us. So let's just jump right in. What made you all start gardening?
I'll start off first. For me, it was much more of an awareness to eat the right kinds of food. I come from Detroit City, where there's limited areas where you could get fresh produce, things of that nature. Also, you know, at the time, even when consuming certain meats and things like that, you couldn't get fresh veggies, fruits, things of that nature in your local markets. So it was just more so or less, what can I do to change the situation? And I was pushed to start growing food, but the Most High Yah didn't want me to grow it in Detroit. So that was the start for me.
And I've always had a vision of having my own fresh produce, saving money, going to my backyard, picking my food, and creating dishes with what I have grown And that's pretty much it started as a dream
Mm.
first, and then once we got together, the dream just blossomed. It just came together. So we was very excited to get started as soon as we were together.
That's so great.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just wanted to add, it took us a minute, you know what I'm saying, before we found actually our first place to start planting. But even in that process, it was trials and tribulations. And some of these things can be addressed when people, well, what do they want to grow? What do they, where do they want to start their garden? So these are the questions that people might have to ask before they start actually starting to plant food. So
Or people start seeds, they lose their first seedlings, they babies, they give up. They are intimidated by bees, things of this, insects outside, don't want to be in the soil. But there's nail brushes, there's netting, there's spray, there's things that you can deter, what you are afraid of. And also to help you conquer some things spiritually, because you grow spiritually as you garden because of the metaphors and allegories.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. And I love that you brought up, Brother Shamar, the fact that, you didn't really want to start your garden in Detroit, A lot of our people do live in inner cities, urban areas with limited yard space. They may not have a yard at all. So how would you, help someone or give someone advice on how they can get started if they don't have a yard that they can start in?
where there's always different kinds of methods. The first and the most common is container garden, and with that, just basically anything that you can use. We do have a couple of pictures and things of that nature to where we use actual crates, and with that, we actually line those up with landscaping fabric, put some soil in it. And actually we use that as somewhat like a makeshift garden.
Okay.
And this allows for you to kind of maneuver the plants around to keep them in the sunlight, things of that nature.
And here we have where you can do planter boxes if you have a patio or a small little space to have a planter box. Easily wood that you could get and screw into a size that you can handle, and put some soil in it, and you could grow many things out of this box here that's being played. Actually, we're using it for carrots because we love our medley blend.
Mhm.
So I love to grow the carrots so that way we can have enough. But and carrots like loose soil. So also another way to container garden is pots. You could
Okay.
get clay pots, you could get hanging pots, you can grow out of buckets, BPA free buckets. We don't prefer any of that, but however, if it's a
Yeah.
small space, it can definitely.
If it can hold soil, the motto is it can actually grow food for you, depending on what it is that you're actually growing in that container.
Yes.
That makes sense because it is a lot of different types of containers that you can get your hands
Yeah.
on. Um,
Hmm.
actually start something small. I've seen people on the internet use, okay, it's not the BPA free model, but I've seen them use like 2-liter soda bottles.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
People
Yeah.
use all types of things and
Yeah.
creative ways to get started. So what I'm hearing you say is there's really no excuse to not get started.
Correct.
Pretty much.
Correct.
Especially when what's going on. Even if you're in this class right now or on this call right now, it's something urging you to at least find out what it is that you can do to get started at least.
You could do small mason jars on your counter. Even if you don't have a balcony space, you can get mason jars, and you could get a sunny windowsill and place them there in your windowsill. It's very important to get started because our food is so uncertain now here nowadays. With the price gouging, it's very important that we eat. It's a commandment. When we in the land of our captivity, we are to plant vineyards. And
This was in Book of Jeremiah as well. I'm sorry. Yeah.
okay,
But
yes. And so this method, this video that is being shown right now, is an easy way to get started. Really, less expensive, under $20. It's
What?
really under, yes, because the
Yes.
crate is free. The
Okay.
landscaping fabric is like $5, and your soil maybe be about $10. So it's really a real inexpensive way. And then you have to get your seeds according to what you will want to grow. Um,
And the whole concept is to conserve space. As you can see, this is on asphalt, and this is actually in the driveway. So
Mm,
this is for people who do not actually have a yard, but maybe
okay.
a parking spot. So you can grow these things in your driveway. You know,
Yeah, on
just
your
to,
front porch,
mhm.
on your front lawn, you can, I mean, and these things, you can even travel with this. You could put things like this in the back of your truck if you're traveling, because we're travelers, or are travelers. And we wanted our veggies fresh on the go,
Right.
with us, and we wanted to be able to pick from our herbs, our medicine cabinet. And that's why it's important to also grow too, because you create a medicine cabinet, you create a place to preserve your food for a later date, and to eat fresh so that you can think right, be healthy in the best way possible for you and your family.
For
Right.
sure.
Yes,
I
sir.
got to hear more about this, garden on the go method, because I have never heard this. And from what you told me from previous conversations, it was very successful. So, how did you do that?
Okay,
I'll let you
so
go ahead.
okay, so we simply, like here, this crate. We also had grow bags too. We just filled it up, and we decided, what do we eat a lot of? We like green beans, we like tomatoes, we had parsley, basil, um, and that's pretty much it. On
We had a couple of herbs in there as well.
cilantro,
Cilantro. You did
yes,
say basil.
yes.
I think we had even some lemon verbena as well, just to have a herb on deck and on hand.
Hmm.
And it was primarily out the back of my pickup truck. Like my wife did say, we use grow bags, in which we will show each and every one of you what exactly they look like when we take a walk over to the garden side. So um, that was a very exciting experience. We got a lot of recognition. People would just be like, "Hey, I see you guys got tomatoes growing out your truck," but it was just kind of like a test just to see if it was possible to do, just in case, like my wife said, you want your stuff on the go all the time,
And this is for people that's living the RV life. The tomatoes grew very well. This is for people who travel, who wants to. There may be a trucker out here. It's a lot of us in different positions where they travel, and they like, I can't even be at home to grow everything I want. You can grow quick, fast growing vegetables. Within 20 days, you can be eating green beans. Or 20 days, you can have radish and lettuce and some chives
some
on the
leafy
side,
greens
some
or
leafy
something like
greens.
that.
Yes. And then in 40 days, you can have that tomato, and then you can mix it with the rest of the things you've been picking from anyway. And this will help save while you're on the road. It gets plenty of wind and air because it was in the back of a pickup truck, plenty of sun because we're always pulling up, somewhere where it's just sunlight. So it was getting plenty of sun.
Also easy to maintain.
Yes.
The only thing that you would do is just pretty much just moving around the back of the trailer, to keep it in. I mean, I'm sorry, the truck, just to keep it within the sunlight. So even with that, like I said, it was a challenge to do, but it can be done for someone who may want to inquire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very, again, inexpensive. The grow bags was four for $20. Again,
Mm.
the soil is $10, and you can get seedlings. I mean, we have everything that you need on our site anyway. So make sure you visit us for your gardening needs.
Of course. Well,
Right.
a little bit. Like we talked about earlier, grocery stores, they do a lot of weird stuff with the food, and it's more expensive too. So how realistic is it for us to start relying on our own gardens, instead of relying on the grocery stores? That's something that's really difficult to transition into, or it's really not that bad of a transition.
I don't think it's really much of a bad of a transition, especially if you start by just maybe choosing one or two items
Okay.
and just make it saying a devout to yourself. Hey, I won't buy the lettuce or I won't buy the cucumbers from the store. I'll at least try to grow my own, and even from that might inspire you to actually even grow whatever you can, saying just by being inspired to grow those few things. Unfortunately, for the pesticides and stuff like that, it's hard to get away from because of so much of the produce. But once again, you have to just have it within you to say, hey, I'm going to make that change. I'm going to just do whatever I can, saying, to better myself and to keep resulting to them or to that process.
And the urgent part of it is because you save money for your
Mm-hmm.
household. The money can go somewhere else that you may need to have for emergencies. Also, you know where your food comes from, because once you taste good, fresh produce out of your own backyard, you do not want the grocery store anymore. You don't know what they're doing to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even smell the same. It's so fresh, like a bell pepper. Really, if you eat into a bell pepper straight from the garden, it's crispy like an apple, it's juicy like an apple. Now, when we get it from the store, it's not crispy. It's
Oh,
kind of hard to cut. It's not. It doesn't smell the same. And people think that
It's
bell
almost
peppers.
rubbery or something like
Yeah,
that,
they think. Yes, it's very rubbery, and people think that bell peppers are vegetables when it's actually a fruit. So you would get, knowledge and wisdom drop down on you once you start in this gardening life. It just takes you to another level spiritually. We come from the dust of the ground,
right.
so while we play in the soil and get the minerals, everything that the ground has is what we need: minerals, vitamin D, magnesium, um, nitrogen. So this is why it's important. This is what keep us healthy. This is what keep diseases out of our body.
Yeah.
And it's a constant work. It's not one year we grow and then the next year, hey, we're not growing because we don't want to. No, it's a must
I mean, we
to
did do
grow.
it for 6 years straight, and then we took a sabbatical. But that's something totally different, But we just want to continue to encourage, everyone we can,
Mhm.
to start small. And then, that way, you can find your niche. There's certain ways that you could plant. Some people may prefer to do a trench garden versus lasagna garden, which
Mhm.
is something that we can explain, if someone may have a question on what those are,
Yeah.
so.
And I highly recommend picking vegetables that you that your family eat
Yeah.
the most of. So that way, and you can grow easy crops to get the hang of it, to get
Hmm.
to know what season to grow in, what season not to grow in. Also, know what grows well together, so the work can be cut in half for you. So
True.
definitely, we recommend it because it saves. We recommend it because it's more healthy. We recommend it because it's a commandment for us to go forth to plant us gardens and eat the fruit of them.
It sure
That's
is.
scripture. Yes, it
I know
is.
you spoke a lot about
You can't
what
hear
you've
me.
learned
We can't
just
hear you.
by. Oh, you can't. Can you hear me now? You still can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh my goodness. What is going on? Is it back?
Okay, it's back.
Okay.
Okay. Hallelujah.
It's
I
very low. If you could turn it up, that'd be
know.
awesome.
Okay, let me see what's going on with this. I know you spoke a lot about, the lessons that you've learned. But what
The
life lesson
volume is very low.
is still low?
Yes, sorry.
Is it better now?
Keep going up.
Is it better now?
It's low on our end, but we can hear you.
It's low. Why is it
It's not us,
low?
is it?
No, is it? Can you hear us really well?
Okay. Hebrew Planet said we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. It's just it may be on our end. I'm not for sure.
Okay. I'm sorry. I want y'all to be
That's
able to hear.
okay.
Um, I know you spoke a lot about the life lessons that you've learned. well, you spoke about the lessons that you've learned from being in the garden, but what life lessons have you learned from actually, sowing and reaping and tilling the ground?
Mm.
It's almost like, where do you want to start at? Just like you would if you wanted to start a garden. Where do you start at? Uh, for us, there's a scripture that tells us to break up the fallow ground.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of beginners, this is symbolic as far as getting yourself ready to do such a thing. If you do plan to grow, even spiritually, there's some things that you got to break up with inside of yourself in order for you to be able to get ready to grow. So
Mm,
this is pretty much the first step, and this concept can be taken outside, where you'll begin to actually find out where it is that you want to get things started. And this can also give you an insight on where you might want to get started within your life as well, even in relationship wise. So there are all kinds of things, but the thing is to actually get started.
Yes. So
mm,
one of our scriptures that we love is he who put his hand to the plow and not looking back is not fit for the kingdom.
That's right.
mm,
Also, we um we also like to give. This is a life lesson that we have learned. Giving is very important. Your first fruits of the garden.
Indeed.
And the Most High, He just blesses you during that process. Um, and when you do virtue and do good deeds, these store up. This is your storehouse that
yeah.
you are storing up not here on earth but in heaven. So this is what we want to keep in mind. This is how it changed us. We started learning life principles and morals in a different way concerning gardening, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that he gave us as Adam and Eve.
Was a
Adam
garden
in a
job. Yes, it
Adam a
was.
garden.
Yep.
Then he gave him a wife to
Yeah.
help
And
keep the
then other
garden and
things of
enjoy.
that nature. Yes,
Yes.
it did.
Yeah.
So we learned orderly things. Things must be done in order. And even in a relationship, like you said, it helped us grow together, like companionship. In the garden, there's a thing called companionship. You
Mm-hmm.
have to grow a herb with a vegetable. The herb helps protect the vegetable from being harmed.
Mm,
Any bugs or insects come around is it's there for protection, and it also enhance the growth of the vegetable. Same thing with the relationship.
Also, there's a method called succession planting.
okay.
Just like soon as one plant is ready to end its phase, you add another plant within that, section
Yes.
to keep that going on. And just like in a relationship, you have to constantly encourage each other.
Mhm.
This is day in and day out. This is not to stop. You don't take a break. This is every day. So, and this
Yeah.
helps build healthy relationships as well.
Yes, all over, just not uh man and wife, but just with everybody. It just
Yeah.
helps, to build.
I can definitely see it increasing your patience too. Because,
Yes.
things may not always turn out the way that you would have anticipated or expected, but it's how do you come back from that and not let that deter you from continuing on the path. So
Mhm.
I love those that you named. I want to hear more about, you talked about being charitable and helping others. How do you help others with this ministry that you all have started?
Okay.
Well, I'll let my wife speak on that. She's pretty much in the forefront, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the background. So, there's some things that
He's the muscle.
you're encouraging and just like my wife said, we wanted everyone to eat healthy. So,
Hmm.
best thing we can do is help you get started. So, and with that, we've given away, tons of seeds, and this is only because we have been blessed with it. So
Mm,
Yes.
we've held classes, online classes to teach people how to get started,
mm,
Seminars.
seminars, how to
Yes.
build, just like you said in the intro, how to build trellises, planter boxes, things of that nature. We do this, what I'm saying, out of our ruachs. We know this is ordained by the Most High Yah. We see the growth in it right now, even coming from when we seen the basil stem on the windowsill. So now, here we are, giving classes, having interviews. My wife
yeah.
is giving me a key to shut up and things
No!
of that nature. So I can So we so but
No.
even this right now, this helps us, what I'm saying, to encourage other couples as well that they can do this,
Mhm.
they can laugh about it. It's a hard work, but it is very enjoyable in the end process.
Mm.
You are so funny, though, for real.
Y'all
You
are
are
both
too
so
fun.
cute. I love
You,
this, and I
we are
love that
too fun.
it
But
love that it increase your relationship. Like you talked about the
yeah,
companionship, working together, and to see literally the fruits of your labor. It's such a blessing
Uh-huh.
to witness.
yes. And how else do we help people get started? We will travel a small distance to help build garden beds for people, maybe the elderly who can't build
Mm,
garden beds, grandmother, mother, they want to get started. So we're going to travel up north to help them get started. So we are travelers with this as well. We give away seeds, hot sauce, whatever we can to get you started. We will get you. We have ebooks. Some people like to read
mm,
because they learn through reading. We try to
right.
reach each audience on their level. And
Hmm.
we always talk about start small and then grow big. So it's definitely a blessing to be able to go around and even helping the community to grow.
and
Um,
and that is, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. And our motto is start small once
Mhm.
again, because a lot of our people do not have land. They don't
Mm,
own
right.
acres. They don't even necessarily own plots.
Right.
So if you have a backyard, and you can get some relatively good sunlight, that is where you can start. So, and this is what we did.
Yeah.
And
We encourage, we
yes.
just continue to give the support to those who think they may not know that they can really grow. A lot of people like, well, I got this to do and I got that to do. I just don't have the time. Yes, you do. Put the seed in the soil. The
Hmm.
most high he's basically commanding you to be a steward over what he will bless you if
Right.
you just take that first step in putting a small seed in the soil that turns into a nice harvest.
Yeah. Certainly. Well, this is a sign for everybody listening to start small. Um, get your organic seeds from letsgrowthegardenlife.com. We know Amazon is like prime, fast day shipping. No, we have to support our own people. So make sure you
Yes.
visit Let's Grow the Garden Life and get your organic seeds, so you can get started. Because as you've seen today, there's no reason why we all can't get started growing our own food.
And I just want to add in the organic part. A lot of people like, well, I can't afford the seeds. We always take partial payments we give away. We start small, 1 or 2 packs. Um, we are different from the grocery store seeds, low seeds, the Dollar Tree seeds. This is for generations that we have
Mm,
been growing and saving our own seeds. So they have a high germination rate,
okay.
meaning they're not going to mess up your soil. They actually seed
Mm,
fix the soil. If you're lacking
mm,
something, you could plant a green bean and you don't even know you're lacking magnesium in this or nitrogen in this soil. But if you put a green bean there, you definitely can just fix your soil. So you want to make sure you get in the correct seeds. GMO, it could contaminate your soil. And your future fruit will not be as productive. You won't have on one tree 13 bell peppers. You
yeah.
will have maybe 5 or 4. You won't get
Mm.
as many from a GMO seed versus a non-GMO seed.
Right.
Got you. So, speaking of seeds, I know a lot of people, nowadays have said, "Oh, start saving your seeds and things like that." Is that something you would recommend? Especially with produce coming from the grocery store, is that a good idea?
Well,
Oh yeah, that's
we don't discourage you from doing it, but
Okay,
everything in the grocery store is not to be trusted. Although they say
right.
organic, it may not even be organic. You can
Yeah.
save the seed and try, but this is what we recommend.
Okay.
that you grow the seed first for the first year, see what it produce. You take the fruit off of that tree, save that seed. That's
Okay.
the second generation of the
Okay.
seed that you have. Then you have to do it one more time. And then the third generation of that seed, you start saving the seed because it comes back into its original state and start producing as much as it should be.
Okay.
So that means you went through three generations of seed, just trying to get it back to the original state.
Okay.
That was well said.
Oh,
It
thank
was.
you.
I was like, that makes sense. I retained that one. That was good.
Yeah. So that's the difference between our seeds and the store seeds. You may see packets of seeds because a lot of people don't know what to grow together.
Correct.
What
Okay.
grows in what time of the year? You have three growing seasons in the summertime. You have springtime, hot summer, and fall. So that means you have three growing seasons. So you have to change your vegetables out,
Mm,
and plant according to the seasons. So that way you can be successful in growing tomatoes, okra, peppers in the hot season. Like right now, it's time to start planting okra, tomatoes, eggplants,
Peppers,
peppers,
basil.
watermelon, basil, yes,
okay.
for the hot summer that's coming up in June, July, and August. In the springtime, that's when you get all your collards, your kales, your
Mm,
Most of your
mustard
leafy
greens,
greens and
yes,
the
your
okay.
cabbage,
cabbages
your
and things of that
broccoli,
nature.
yeah. So now,
Uh-huh.
right now, we are in a harvesting stage where we just seen our broccoli head starting to grow.
Oh,
Our
exciting.
cabbage is starting to form itself. So we are excited because in a couple of weeks we'll be harvesting some of that. And we actually going to start planting seeds for our summer
Props.
crops. Yes.
So another life lesson I just picked up on is you have to plan ahead. You cannot
Yes.
Yes.
procrastinate. Procrastination is not going to work if this is what you want to
Right.
do.
Right.
You got to stay on top of it with
Yeah.
everything that you do.
Yes, you
Uh-huh.
do. So it's
Uh-huh.
important to have a journal. It's
Okay.
important to write down all the tools you think you're going to need according to your space. If you have a yard or land, you want a tiller, you want a wheelbarrow, you want all the tools that goes with gardening. At that point, gloves, hats, rakes, shovels, hoes. You want all of these things to get them together and start preparing to do something. If you're at home, they have it on a small scale. You may not need the tiller and you may not need the rake and all of that, but you may need the little
Right.
handheld
Yeah.
rake
And
and
so,
shovel and gloves,
uh-huh. And
and
so then you
snippers.
Okay.
can start finding some children to help you, like some
Yeah.
small
Right.
brothers and sisters,
Yes.
some nieces and nephews,
Yes,
sons and
children.
daughters. All right.
Yes,
That's
get
what
them
get
involved.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Good
So
thing that the children can do to be involved in all of this is they can clean the tools, know what the tools are. They could go searching for worms for the garden.
Mm-hmm.
If it's girls, they can actually start labeling popsicle sticks of what y'all gonna grow, like
Okay.
broccoli, kale, collards. Um, get them familiar with what the vegetables look like,
Mm-hmm.
like pull it up on the internet so
and,
that they can know.
and as far as preparation wise, it's usually the women that will get things prepared, when it's
Right.
time to, get stuff going on. So, just like my wife said, you can get some of the young girls involved in planting flowers,
Hmm.
Okay.
something like that to get them connected. And so even getting flowers started are great things to start setting up barriers for the garden,
Mm.
for the insects
Yes.
to come, to repel certain insects. So these are the things you want to have in place almost or pretty much before you actually get
Yes.
vegetables planted in the ground.
Right.
So just to,
On the
know,
children's side of
yeah.
things, bring them in, get them involved. The boys can go look for the worms and the
Yeah.
bugs since that's what they like. They can clean the tools or whatever and get the wheel bearing and start all of that. But yeah, it's important because each gender in the garden has their role.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is done decently and in order. The man is to till the garden. He is to go forth to be a husbandman to the
Yes.
garden. The women, we are to keep it, clean it, get it, preserve the fruit of it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
do we
Right.
go out there and transplant? Yes, we do. We go out there and we keep it clean. We keep it trimmed, groomed, pruning. We do these things. So pretty much his hands are heavy and ours, their hands is more heavier than
Yeah.
ours. We have a more feminine touch. So we're soft with the plant. Versus the men, they may go in and snap a branch and you don't even know, and they didn't kill the whole plant. So yeah, gotta be knowing exactly what role we
Yeah.
play while we are in the car. Now, if you're by yourself, we're not going to exclude that part either.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just get started very, very small on what you can handle, what you would like to see come forth. Um, if you can get help from brothers or sisters or nieces, nephews,
It's
family,
always a plus. Yeah.
make a plan,
Yeah.
set a date, everybody come over and everybody eat. And
Yeah.
also, I want to share this as well. A lot of people are scattered out. Everybody is not close to one another. We have
Right.
someone over here in this state, or we may have somebody 3 blocks down or 45 minutes away. See if you can gather with some people to see what they can grow different
Mm-hmm.
than what you can grow. So that way y'all could come together and
Mm.
you can
Mm.
exchange food and you have your own grocery store right there. So if
Wow.
they growing broccoli, lettuce, tomato, you growing green beans, potatoes, and onions, and you just exchange for what you need and you have a whole meal. And I think that's important too as well.
That makes so
Most
much
definitely.
sense. I love bringing the community aspect in it too. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You know,
No.
our nation was very inclusive in wanting to involve everybody and everything and trade amongst each other and work together as a family should. So I love
Yes.
that you all are recommending, that type of model where everyone can help each other. No one needs to be isolated by themselves.
Hmm.
Not at all. Not at all. And it's a building. It's a building process. Sometimes everyone is not acclimated to grow. So you have to sometimes make it very appealing.
Mhm.
Once again, with young men, if you teach them how to grow planter boxes, this may, kind of get them motivated, start cutting, measured, drilling, sawing, things that young men do. So,
Yeah,
there's different things that they can do to get things prepared to grow. It's a hard approach to reintroduce to our people because of
right.
some of the things that we've been conditioned to
Yeah.
accept. So
Yeah. Quick,
it's a
convenient
it's a
way.
it's a work. So
Yes, it is work. And I
uh,
highly recommend the team, the community to get involved
mhm.
because your job may not be going out there in the soil and really, turning the soil. It may be that you're in the kitchen
Yeah.
preserving, making a salsa, making a pestos, making a roux, canning,
Mm,
whatever it is, prepping the food for, dinner tonight or a big event or whatever have you. So
right.
everybody has their role that they will play in this garden.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we might have already moved to Q&A. I see a question in the comment section. Shout out to Hebrew
Okay.
Care. She asks, "What's a good natural pesticide to get bugs out of the garden?"
You talk about that.
Okay. So we have two ways that we have so many different ways. Um you companion planting is one of them. You must learn what grows well together. Tomato and basil grows well together.
Mm,
Basil is going to protect the tomato. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's
yeah.
gonna swat off the white butterflies. The white
Mm,
butterflies are pests. They are come to do damage to your garden. The colorful butterflies are your best friends.
okay.
So you want to do companion planting. There's another way that you can get them out of the garden? You want to
Okay,
use a pesticide?
and before we go to the second one, just to inform, what looks like it may be a white butterfly is actually a cabbage moth, and what it
Okay.
does is hover over your leafy greens, and once it lands on whatever it wants to land on, it drops quite a few eggs down
Yes,
on
it
your
does.
greens, and so this is how you get other bugs that actually eat your produce up. So
Mm.
even with this method, like my wife said, the basil, what it does is it gives off an aroma, and this aroma deters the actual cabbage moth away from all your leafy greens.
Okay, and also
Mm.
marigolds flowers are important. Sunflowers are important to plant. Marigolds are important to plant. Um, Marigolds keep the bugs away. It's a pest. Now we have other pests like squirrels. We
Hmm.
have beavers. We have rabbits,
Gophers and all kinds of
gophers. Yeah,
yeah.
birds. You have rats. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say for those that may live by certain areas, and you may be growing strawberries. They smell the strawberry turning red, so they coming. So you could get
Mm.
a net. It's called a bird netting. You could
Poultry
detect.
netting is what is this
What
called?
is it called?
Poultry netting.
Okay, bird netting as well, and you could cover your crop up with that. And there's one more we'll give you for those that don't want to go neither route.
There's also like a natural pesticide that you can make, a concoction, if you will.
Mm.
What we usually use is 100% natural neem oil.
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe a drop or two of Dawn dishwashing liquid, some crushed garlic, and maybe all of this to a ratio of 1 gallon of water.
Mm.
And what else is that we usually put in there? It's one
And
more
that's
ingredient.
it.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
Okay.
And with this ingredients, what you do is you pretty much go around and spray your plants.
Spray the
Uh,
back of the leaves of the plants.
correct.
Mm.
Also do this maybe towards the evening
Yeah.
or early in the morning.
Yeah.
Never in direct heat or sunlight. And then there's also a third, which is pretty much a way that this is a tough way. You sometimes have to go out at night
Mm.
and with a flashlight, tweezers. And what you will find is there's a lot of activity that goes on at nighttime. Lots of bugs like to eat under the cool weather. So they're eating, they're
Yes.
munching all night. So you have to go out there at nighttime with a flashlight, turn some leaves over, and nine times
Mm.
out of 10, you'll find more bugs than you think you may be looking for.
And so
So,
you can take the
Wow.
tweezer and take them off, or that's a job for whoever that is easy for. So those are some methods
all
on
praises.
on natural pesticides, which is many more out there. We just threw a few out there that's very easy for anybody to do.
Yeah, that was a great question too. And it's
Yes, it
funny you
was.
mentioned the marigolds, and she actually put in the comments that she planted marigolds, so she was already
Yeah.
on it anyway.
Yes.
So, family, if you have some more questions, please drop them in the chat. I love what Hebrew Planet just said. We love what you're doing. Thank you for this information. This is going to help a lot of
I
people,
appreciate
All
and we
praises.
really want everyone to go to let's grow thegardenlife.com, sign up for a class, join a seminar, that way you can get this information, get an ebook, get involved with everything they have to offer. That way you remain knowledgeable and you can get started.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
All praises, all praises. Yeah, like I said, we want to, once again, continue to just encourage, even the youth,
Hmm.
and we're really, pushing our people so they can push their children to
Right.
start
Yes.
learning this thing here, due to what's coming ahead, these turbulent and tribulation period that's coming up.
Right.
So,
Right.
just getting them aware, and this is just a small step. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
certainly. We have another question here.
Okay.
I have a screened in porch, probably got maybe a foot or two of garden space. What should I start with?
Okay. First, you want to start with getting your soil together, getting either whatever you want to grow out of grow bags or either pots. Your soil will be Kellogg's mix, raised bed potting soil. That's what we like to start out with because it's very loose soil for container beds.
You can
Mm,
find this at Home Depot.
Yes,
It is in a pink and yellow bag, striped bag.
yes.
And as well with that, if you're growing in the ground, there is also another bag. It is the green and white bag, just to
okay.
And so
inform.
to stay on topic, um, the space that she has, you can use the container. You can use the milk crate that we showed earlier in the video or the grow bag. So you want to maybe count how many things you want to grow and go from there. I say grow a total of 4 things. You can use one pot for many of things, another pot for 2 things, and the other two can stand alone with one thing in it. So there's many different things you can grow in that small space.
Yeah, that's great advice. And as you see, you are encouraging our brothers and sisters to get
All
started,
praises.
feeling more
All praise.
confident to get started, not to be, intimidated or nervous to get started. You know, you can start anywhere. That's pretty much what all of this is showing. You can start no matter where you are, which is another life lesson too that we talked about
Yes,
from
sir.
earlier.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And there's always, once again, trials and tribulations,
Yes.
how to start, once again, how to start, where you want to start, but, just starting somewhere. And the first thing is preparing. And so just like we said, did you speak on starting indoors? Did anyone
Yes,
say
you
anything
can.
about starting
Yes, you
indoors?
can
Okay.
start indoors, but I highly recommend for beginners. That's a little challenging. You have to be a little bit more experienced.
Hmm.
So I
Mm,
highly recommend just start outside. But you can still small. You can start in a egg carton. You could put
oh,
holes in the
mm,
bottom of an egg carton and put
okay.
each seed in each egg carton. You could start like that, or a plastic container that maybe you get from like Chick-fil-A, the salad that it comes in. You could put soil in that, poke holes at the bottom. That creates a
Mm,
mini greenhouse.
okay.
Some people, if you want to start outside and hey, you just don't have the garden planned yet, you could buy you a greenhouse online. They're like anywhere from $20 to all the way up to $100 or more. And you could set it up, an easy setup, and it's a little mini greenhouse, and get you some pots, starting soil, and your seeds. And remember to get your seeds started no matter what. And visit us on Let's Grow the Garden Life so that way
Yes.
All
we could get you
praises.
together on the seeds.
Get you
Ask
started.
any questions that you may need to us. You could chat with us there and everything. So
Mhm.
definitely.
That's awesome. We got two
Any
more
other
questions in
questions?
here. Yeah, we sure do. They coming in.
Okay.
This sister said she has a big cedar planter in the backyard. What do you suggest she plants there to maximize the space in it?
Wow, the
That's
cedar
nice.
planter. We haven't necessarily grown out of a cedar planter. At one point in time, it was interesting. But as far as the cedar planter, what is the size that you're dealing with would be, saying the first thing that,
Yeah.
you're looking for. You don't want to plant certain things too close to each other.
Mm,
If you're not planting, more than one thing, when you do plant a thing, you want to make sure that has the right amount of space to grow. So, um,
So we need to know the size that you're
correct.
working with so we can kind of tell you exactly what you can grow
Hmm.
in that size, because we work with very small size, but we have everything in this small space that you can make a soup with. And that's like
mm,
a chart that I go by, that I tell sisters, grow everything that you like to put in a soup. If you don't
okay.
have the space, grow the minimum things that you like to put in a soup on a constantly. So the
Mm,
planter box is very good, and really our garden, it does save at least $500 to $600 a month. And if you get good with growing and land, you can turn land into being so self-sufficient to an income where it produce and make money for you. You can live off the land literally and let the land produce for you.
Hmm.
You can sell watermelons. How many people love watermelons? That's
Okay.
all you have to grow is watermelons. So
Hmm.
that's a little tip that we would like to get, put out there for our people to stay encouraged and growing because it can go somewhere one day. Um, Herbs, a lot of our sisters like to make a lot of things with herbs that we need, natural products,
Yeah.
lip gloss, makeup, hair, body oils,
Soaps
and
and stuff.
you can use your
Hmm.
own fresh herbs to make these things, in your medicine, in your tinctures, all of that. So just stay encouraged.
All right. We got one more again from Hebrew Care. When is the best time to water the garden? I water mine early in the morning.
It's really, I say early in the morning because late at night brings like snails, things that like slimy stuff, things
Uh-uh.
that like water.
Okay.
Early in the morning is the best time. You get on your own regimen. I used to water my garden at least every other day. If it
Hmm.
did not rain, I would water on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Sundays. Um, and it was every day, you think? He said it was
Oh,
every
okay.
day. It wasn't every day, but it just depends on how you will want to water it, how much sun is getting. You don't want to give it too much water. How well is your drainage? These are the questions you ask yourself. So if you want to water every day, it's your choice. Don't water too much.
And that is
Um,
Hmm.
one key thing. Make sure you have drainage, especially when you're dealing with container gardening or
Okay.
especially plastic pots. They do not let the soil to breathe. So if you're dealing with containers or plastic pots, make sure you have well drained holes in them
yes,
as
Hmm.
well.
yes.
One thing about watering the plants, you all right?
Yeah,
Okay. One thing about watering your plants, do not overwater them.
Hmm.
The moisture brings about
yes, it
aphids.
does.
Aphids are a garden's nightmare.
Yes, it
Aphids are
is.
the little white bugs that eat your plants up.
Well,
Okay.
eats the nectar. Okay,
I'm sorry.
the aphids run up the plant. It eats the sweet part of the flower. The flower is
Hmm.
not able to produce the fruit. So
Hmm.
that's the aphid, but your naked eye really can't even really see it. You will know it because your fruit, your plant will start being sad. It'll lean down toward the ground just to let you know something is on me. And that comes from watering your garden too much. So know your water vegetables like cucumbers like water, kale, collards love water, broccoli, cabbage love water, watermelon loves water.
Yes.
But like if you're growing tomatoes and basil and peppers, they can get water, they can stand a little drought.
Hmm.
And you can, if you forgot about it and you go, hey, but they don't want that water as much as cucumbers do. So just know your water vegetables.
Got you. This is so much great information. And we got a brother in the chat now saying he's had food from your garden and y'all are a blessing.
All praises to
Oh,
the Most
praise to
High.
God, brother. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. This brother here has been very supportive of us.
Yes,
Even in our beginning stages,
yes.
so that is,
All praises to the Most High.
one very great contributor to, what we're doing and, and a testimony as well. So
Hmm.
all praises for
Well,
that, brother.
hallelujah.
Yes.
You all have shared so
Hallelujah.
much with us. And honestly, I'm going to steal his quote and say, you have been a blessing to our entire nation tonight with all the information you've been sharing. I don't think, I wish I could have taken notes, but luckily we have a recording so I can go and watch it so I can get
Yes,
started. But where can everyone go to find out more information about you? Is everything just on your website?
yes. We have everything on our website. We have seminars. We have classes. We have a class coming up. You can find our seeds there. You can find our herbs there. Everything is straight from our garden. We have been blessed to expand our space this year, so we are looking forward to giving away food. So everyone needs to
Mm,
go there, sign up for our emails. Our emails give out detailed step by
okay.
step information on what you should be doing each month in your area. And
Mm,
we make sure that we touch each area so that you can know what you're supposed to be doing during that month, that time. And this goes throughout the whole season. And make sure you sign up for our emails because we do a lot of fun things, trivias where you can win free things such as seeds and
mm.
such as food
Seedlings.
boxes,
Yep.
hot
Wow.
sauce, and herbs.
Mhm.
We ask, and it's exclusively for our email for our email subscribers because that
Okay.
lets us know that they're paying attention to what we are, pushing out there for you to be successful for
Hallelujah.
generations to come.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Well, we thank you definitely so much for taking this time to be with us tonight, to share
Okay.
more about what you all do, where people can go to get more information and education. Before we close out, are there any last words you want to leave our viewers with?
I family, stay encouraged. If you're looking to make a change in your life, just know that the Most High Yah has given us these temples.
Mm,
We will not be getting a new one. And so, with that being said, do what it is that you can to instill the good things to preserve the temple the best way you can. Unfortunately, a lot of us, we are not all 100% healthy, but we can do the best that we can with what we have. And so, growing food is the first step to being self-sufficient, if you will.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we'll
Yes.
just take that in hand and remember to start small.
Yes. And I
hallelujah.
would like to just say, like our social media pages, um, also follow us. We are on YouTube. This will be replayed on our YouTube channel as well. Most High will. Also, we pick a scripture to stand on while you are gardening. Jeremiah 29, 4 and 5. Plant you gardens while you in the land of your captivity and eat the fruit of them. If you cannot do that, team up with your local brother and sister, and try to assist them the best way you know how so that you can be a part of the garden life and getting back to what the Most High want us to get back
Intended
to.
us to do.
Yes.
Yes.
So until further notice, till he can come and
Right.
see about us.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
all praises to the Most High for that. And thank you for
Exactly.
having us on your platform.
Yes, it's been a
Of
pleasure.
course.
We're getting more social media reviews and things and more exposure. So
Mhm.
each year, even for us, we're growing as well.
Growing like the
Yeah.
vegetables.
Hallelujah. Well, this is all of our platforms. You're welcome back here anytime. We're just grateful that you are able to be here to share this knowledge with us, and to spend this time with us. So we thank you so much for being here and sharing
Thank
your
you.
knowledge.
Okay, thank
All
you.
praises. Thank you. Toda Yah.
Yes, shalom. And family, if
Shalom,
Shalom.
you
shalom.
want to get more involved and learn more, please do visit let'sgrowthegardenlife.com, where you can find out more information from Let's Grow, Brother Shamar, Sister Kenya. As always, stay blessed, stay prayed up, stay encouraged. And I love what they said. So we're going to end on that note. Start small. And we look forward to seeing you back again. Shalom.